So I've kitbashed the legacy officer into a Cobra, Springfield Cup the way I wanted from the beginning. I had to do some major operation on this figure to make it look the way I want to, how I wanted to customize this figure from the get-go, and I'm quite happy with the result. This is Hervé from Comic Book Bin, figurine since 2002. Like and subscribe. As you know, in the G.I. Joe comic, the town of Springfield was taken over by Cobra for years. So everybody was working for Cobra in that town. It later happened to Broker Beach also, where everybody was secretly a member of Cobra. That's where a lot of the Crimson Guards came from. Also, in the G.I. Joe cartoon, in No World's End, a two-part episode where the Joe crossed into an alternate universe, we could see that the Dreadnoks had become police officers. And also, in another story involving Shipwreck, where he was taken to an island where everybody was working for Cobra and they were trying to find a secret formula that was inserted in his brain, the same thing happened. We had police officers and firemen all over the place, and they were all working for Cobra. And this is what I'm trying to do with this guy. This guy works for Cobra but lives in America, in a small city like Springfield, whichever Springfield it is that Cobra has invaded. Let's look at this guy further. The only drawback with this guy is the fact that I can only have one of them that looks this way. Why? Because the head came from the Rattler gunner, and there were two heads. I guess I could have replaced the head with a regular Cobra Trooper's head and have at least two of them, but so far I've got only one. So the extra head of my Cobra gunner for the Rattler, this is the guy, this is the extra head. The neck peg, it's important to mention, was not compatible between those two. It really was not. So at first I used this thing, this extra head, I used it on a Cobra Viper officer. That was the first option, as suggested by a punk with toy. But that's not what I wanted. I really wanted this guy to be a Cobra guy. As you can see, I haven't changed anything from his body. It's the exact same build. And one of the reasons I really want him to be Cobra is because the sleeves here, they don't really look like something a regular police officer would be wearing. And I've decided to call this guy Barricade. Why Barricade? That's the name of the Transformers car character that is a police officer but works for the Decepticons. So in this case, this guy will now be called Barricade. He's kind of a MP-like type of character for the Cobra troops and also works in Springfield. Double duties as a Springfield cop, but also an MP for the Cobra forces. So he keeps everybody in check in Springfield, even though everybody's Cobra over there. It's kind of the ultimate authority figure for the villain people over there. The only thing I changed was the neck and the peg. The peg of the neck, like I mentioned, is not compatible on this guy. It really is not. You have to warm it up, remove the entire neck, and then you plug in this one. That's the only way to make it work. So the original neck that came with this police officer is not with him. It is with one of my customized Cobra troopers. Find it for you. This is the original head that came with the police officer, right? This is the original head, and this is the one that is going to be sported by this guy, whom I call Barricade. I can give him the glasses here, just like the police officer was supposed to be wearing, and I'm just keeping the regular police hat on. So in the town of Springfield, where Cobra lives, if you see this guy's going to be called Barricade. He's like a military police for the Cobra troops to try to keep everything undercover. You don't want the outside world to know that Cobra lives in this town. So you need a guy like this to keep order. Springfield is kind of a big town, but there's also a lot of transportation and so on. So there's other troops sometimes that walk around in the town, but you don't want people to notice what's happening. And when people like this show up in Springfield, you need someone to just greet them that can remove his face mask here and just greet them normally and pretend that everything's okay in town. But really, when they're gone, when their back is turned, everything goes back to being Cobra. So Barricade here doesn't really wear weapons or even any insignia that says that he's from Cobra. But if you look at some of the original comics from Larry Hama, you could see that even regular Cobras used to wear the full face mask like this in the past. So there's nothing new here. We could see that even in old comics. There's nothing changed on this guy. It's the exact same articulation, everything, the gear, everything's the same. I haven't changed a single thing on this guy. And I know that for Black Friday, this figure was a bit cheaper for a while. I didn't get a second one. I don't think I will ever get a second one. This one is good enough. He's just going to be like some kind of sheriff, police officer for the town of Springfield in my Cobra and G.I. Joe lore. And yeah, that's the figure for you. Nothing to say. He's got different type of gear. This is obviously for crowd control, things like that. A flare gun. He doesn't really shoot here. He could if he wanted, but he doesn't here. He can't look so threatening right off the bat. You have to think that he's on your side, just like Barricade from the Transformers. This is Hervé from Comic Book Bin, fill you in since 2002. Like and subscribe, and yo Joe, and let's have fun with Barricade.